Introducing their opponents, Team Ontario.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final game of the 2024 Football Canada Cup, our gold medal game here between Ontario and Quebec. We are getting set for kickoff as the captains are meeting in the middle for the coin toss. This should be a great game here in Regina at Mosaic Stadium. Take a quick break for the coin toss and the national anthem, and we'll be right back.
Helmet's the head, football the tail. Ontario, you are the visiting team. You'll have choice. Your call is? Tails. Tails is called. Watch it. It is a tail. You've won the toss.
You'd like to defer.
You wish to defer? You want to defer? You want to receive? Which end would you like? As is. Quebec has chose to receive at this end. Let's shake hands. Let's have a great game, guys.
Hey! Finish!
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, now I'd like to please rise to your table. You can break bread if you can. Enjoy each other to the play of the national anthem.
My name is Chris Hattisbeck. I am joined with my good friend Olivia Yeti. This is our 16th game, and I've lost track of the number of days, but not that many. Looking forward to the gold medal game here between Ontario and Quebec. Olivia, what are you expecting?
Well, that's the gold medal question, Chris. Expecting two very strong teams going head-to-head today. It's hard to choose a winner or a favorite heading into the game. I think Team Ontario maybe an edge in terms of size, but size is not everything. Quebec, they've been just so complete in all facets of the game. I don't know, Chris. We've got two of the strongest kickers of the tournament. We've got good quarterbacks. We've got good defenses. I think we're just going to be watching a great football game.
I agree. Should be a great football game here at Mosaic Stadium, as Ontario is set to kick this one away to Quebec. Ball will be caught on the 10-yard line there, as the returner has to turn back. Good spin move there. Gets across to the 25-yard line, and that is where Quebec will start their first drive. Quarterback number 12, Louis Fortier. An outstanding young quarterback, 15 years old, and he has played great this tournament.
He sure has, and I asked head coach Alex Surprenant before the game. I said, Coach, first of all, congratulations for being here, and very humble response, kind of, stating his players have been playing well and they're fortunate. Kind of asked about what to expect for today. He's kind of told me it's going to be the same of what we are. We only have 2 days between practices. It's not like you're going to reinvent the wheel. They're just going to try to play some good Quebec football.
As he looks to throw here quickly on the right side, that pass is complete for a short gain. Number 19, Olivier Dallaire.
The one thing we might see a bit more at Team Quebec, he said maybe the only thing that's a little bit different, you start at number 3, Maxime Latendresse. It's a 6'4" receiver. You see him there with the yellow helmet. He rotating in and out the whole tournament, though. It's not a big difference to me, and he kind of looked like, honestly, we're the same. We are who we are, and we're going to just play our game. And I like that response from the coach.
Yeah, very good response for sure. We've seen very athletic players on this Quebec side, and Ontario can match it in the backfield as well. That time, Quebec tries to run the ball. Short gain. It's going to be third down and decision time, as Quebec will send on the punt team.
And as almost always, we repeat ourselves during the first drive. Teams go 2 and out to start the first quarter.
That's right. So expectation is Ontario to go 2 and out next drive as well.
It is. Speaking of Team Ontario, as they get set up here to receive their first possession of the game, Robert Hill, head coach, a couple of things he said that I didn't know. For one, their coaching staff, they've been together for 3 years. It's their last year kind of together as a staff. And they feel very good about their team, how they've played so far. And he said the last time Team Ontario won this thing was 10 years ago. Guess where the tournament was, Chris?
Regina, Saskatchewan.
Close. Saskatoon,
okay.
Saskatchewan.
As Tristan Charvantier is in to kick that away. Number 3, Matthew Stam with the return, a very dangerous returner. Good job by the cover team there. Ball gets to the 50-yard line. I should have known that. I knew the tournament was in Saskatoon around that time.
Both teams here walking into this game fairly healthy. I believe Quebec has all 40 of their players dressed. Team Ontario have 39 of them. They're without receiver Emmett Charles. He's missed the entire tournament. But both teams escaped their semifinal matchup healthy.
So Ontario starts their first offensive drive on the 50-yard line. Their star quarterback, Riley Chalmers, in the backfield. He'll take the snap. He will hand it off to start this game. Breaking one tackle, that is number 21, Massimo Ferron-Bird, the starting running back for Team Ontario.
Quebec trying to muddy the waters a little bit. Their defensive front not getting in position and stands like traditionally. They're moving around there, trying to confuse the Ontario linemen and trying to make their jobs difficult as the linemen are trying to make their calls during the pre-snap. Lots of movement out of that Quebec defense.
Ario Diakisi in on the tackle there for Quebec. It's 2nd and 7. Ball on the 53-yard line. Chalmers motions his receiver. That movement happening once again. Good job by that Ontario O-line. Throws it to Ferron-Bird. That's going to be an incomplete pass, and it is 2 and out.
Yeah, thankfully for Ontario, it is an incomplete pass. And Chris, yes, it is 2 and out. As we mentioned, almost all of the games, and now I want to go back statistically and look. I don't recall a game in this tournament where an offense did not start with a 2 and out.
We'd have to go back and watch every game, all 16
it must
of them.
Have happened
but
once,
I
right?
feel like it's been every first 2 drives today at least. Defense is starting strong. as Ontario is getting set to punt this one away.
Now again, and I'm repeating myself if you've heard the broadcast more than once, sometimes on offense, early in a game, you kind of pre-plan certain plays because you want to see how the defense reacts to them. You want to see how they align versus certain formations or motions. So there are times where, yes, a first down is great, but sometimes you just also try to get information as there's a fumble on the play.
Yeah, there's a fumble there. Dallaire fumbles the ball. A good job by Heaven Lacombe to fall on that and retain possession for Quebec.
Heaven Lacombe, one of the strong defensive backs from Collège Charles Lemoyne in Montreal. He's had a great tournament. He's at the right place at the right time there to save Quebec for what could have been a disastrous start.
So they'll start now, ball on the 11-yard line. Fortier in the gun. Takes the snap, hands it off this time, runs into a wall, and the Ontario defense rallies for a loss. Darcy Windsor finishes him up, the linebacker for Team Ontario.
Now, you and I were chatting before the game, what's the final score going to be? And we threw out some guesses out there, but one thing that I think we both agree on, Chris, is that both of these teams have extremely strong defenses.
Yeah, both teams, as you mentioned, very strong athletes on both sides of the ball. The defenses have made some great plays. I think we both predicted a one-score game no matter what here at the end of this one, as Fortier will look to throw and through his receiver hands, and that's going to be intercepted on the play by number 6, Jacob Petrantonio for Ontario.
Sebastien Marie is going to want that one back as it goes through his hands all the way to the Ontario receiver. Now, the good news for Team Quebec is this. If it wasn't for the interceptions, they would have been punting from their own end zone, and Ontario would likely get possession around their own 40. Maybe out of this interceptions, Ontario gained maybe 5 or 6 yards more than they would normally after a punt. So it feels like a big momentum thing when you throw a pick, but when you throw one that deep on second and long, it's not a big difference from a punt.
Yeah, so Ontario will take over on the 35-yard line, right hash. Chalmers in the gun. He'll take it. He will hand it off to Ferone Bird. Follows that big offensive line, but met by the Quebec defender. Nice tackle there at the line of scrimmage.
We saw Ontario come out in this set quite a bit against Saskatchewan. They go 6 O-linemen, so one of them reports as a tight end, and they like to run the ball, this formation. So they try the inside zone there, but Quebec's ready for it.
Emile Rodriguez with the tackle.
Second and 10, we might see Chalmers here try to throw one up. He had some great statistical game on Wednesday. Highest percentage completion for the quarterback.
Blitz coming from the Quebec side. Good job by Ferone Bird to pick it up. However, Chalmers gets away, throws it, knocked down. A good job by that Quebec defender. They sent pressure from far away.
Chris, it's a corner blitz from Jacob Moret, but he was in 1 yard of the line of scrimmage. He blitzed from like 9 yards away. He timed it right. There's some good football being played because I thought we were going to get a sack, but the quarterback escaped it, kind of high-kneed his way, making sure he doesn't get shoestring tackled. Delivers a pass that gets tipped. We're a preview to some good football here today, I think.
So Ontario's going to kick this one away as the punt team is sent out. Zachary Aubin, Team Ontario's kicker-punter.
Quebec is short here. They only have 10 players on the field, Chris.
Aubin's going to aim and kick that to the boundary here. Bounces, not a good kick there.
Quebec escapes one there because we had only 10 on the field. Good luck covering the punt coverage, but this punt is not what Ontario wanted. Quebec will take over on their own 19-yard line.
So that is where 48 and this Quebec offense will start. Fortier looks, going to throw right, quick ball, met right away by the Ontario defender. That is caught by number 14, Antoine Fafard, brought down by Paolo Grossi.
Similar play in their first completion of the day. They'll get a medium gain there, 2nd and 4. As Fortier is now 2 of 3 to start the day. Quebec always substituting a lot here. They like to get fresh players in. They like to have different offensive personnel in the game.
Ball on the right hash. Fortier will run the draw this time. Hands off to his running back. Big hole up the middle. A good job by Jonathan Chietta and a well-designed play.
Yeah, that little bit of a field side slot back screen type of look going on, and the quarterback kind of pumps that way or turns his shoulders, but the entire time his intentions was just to hand the ball off to the running back. Good gain on 2nd and 4.
They'll move the ball up to the 35-yard line now. Forte takes it. He's going to look to throw this time. Pressure by the Ontario D-line, and he's going to get sacked on the play. Tried to step into the pocket. A couple of those Ontario D linemen got in there, led by Liam Butler.
Again, this Ontario defense is not going to make it easy for Fortier today. One of the top defenses in the tournament. Quebec having as well one of the top defenses in the tournament.
Second and long. Fortier looking to throw. Looks right. Tries to zip it in. Does find a receiver. Noah Barth with the reception for Quebec.
Quebec's so balanced this year in terms of depth, right? They can run the ball, they can throw it, and when they do decide to throw it, you never really know who's going to come down the reception because they've got many capable receivers. Makes it tough to defend.
Yeah, and a good ball by Fortier there, finding Barth. Ball right at midfield. Fortier will look to throw again this time. Quick throw. Nice job by the receiver to come down with that one. If he missed that, there was a defender waiting for it.
Fortier essentially 5 for 5 in terms of hitting targets today. Now, one of the throws went through his receiver's hands for an interception, but he's impressive so far early on.
That is Olivier Dallaire with the reception, brought down by Jordan Sprague. Second and 5, ball on the 50-yard line. Blitz coming from Ontario. Fortier gets that ball away to his wide out on the field side. He shows off that arm strength, and that is a complete pass to Tyler Mercier.
Yeah, again, 4 different receivers for Quebec catching a ball already in this first quarter as Fortier is 4 for 5 with 35 yards already today. Check that, 5 for 6 with 50 yards for the day.
So 1st and 10 after that first down throw. Fortier takes it, hands it off to Chieta, but he's met right away in the backfield, keeps his feet moving, ends up getting a yard or two there. Brought down by Carter Gooden, the Ontario Defensive Player of the Game on Wednesday.
Good job finding a way, the ball carrier that is, to fall forwards and give his team a 2nd and 9 instead of 2nd and 12. If you want to follow along the statistics, live stats are available for you. That's reginarams.com/stats.
Fortier and Chieta in the backfield, takes the snap, looks to throw, looking right, zips it in there. Once again, complete to number 19. That is Olivier Dallaire, and that's going to move the chains once again for Quebec.
For those of you who want to follow along en français, you do have that option. So on the Football Canada YouTube page, there is a broadcast in French as well. We have some of our friends, colleagues in Quebec calling that game from the web stream. So you're welcome to join there if you wish, or you can stay with us. We'll have some fun on this broadcast.
You can enjoy me butchering some of the Quebec names, not on purpose. As Fortier will look to throw right once again. He's loving throwing to that right side. That is complete to number 11. Brought down short of the first down line, though. Noah Barth once again with the reception.
Again, Fortier been on target 100% of the time today, it seems like. As Team Quebec subs in what could be a heavy package here. 2 offensive linemen coming on the field, along with 2 new slot backs. And La Tendresse at quarterback. They tend to sneak the ball when he's in there.
Yeah, their short yardage QB. Play is whistled in. La Tendresse does a good job following that Quebec O-line, and that's going to be should be a first down for Quebec. It was a long 2nd and 2.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, as someone who's been an offensive coordinator for 6 years now, I love calling a QB sneak, even if it's 2nd and long early in the game, because I want to find out if my O-line has enough push in those situations that when it is 3rd and 1, that I'm making the right decision in that call and telling my head coach, hey, I want to go for it. I know we can get this. That was 2nd and 2 and a quarter, and they got, well, roughly 2 full yards. So now they kind of have that information. I'm surprised they're not doing back-to-back QB sneaks, or maybe they are.
Yeah, it is still La Tendresse in at quarterback, so they will do another QB sneak, although they do sub people off, which is surprising on a short yardage team, but Quebec's obviously ready for that. La Tournaise takes it off the right side, and that's enough for another first down.
He'll get a full 3 yards, if not 4 on the push, so they're feeling good about their short yardage QB sneak group.
6 players on and off after that first down carry for La Tournaise. Now pushes the ball up to the 20-yard line. Forte back in now at quarterback.
Quebec now with 5 first down on this drive. They're all the way in the red zone, 20-yard line for Team Quebec.
2 backs in the backfield. Forte takes it. Fumble on the play, and that's going to be picked up by the Ontario D lineman, number 97, Garrett Scott.
That's a big-time turn of event there. Garrett Scott just falling on the ball. The D lineman from Burlington, Ontario, opportunistic as the ball presents itself right in front of him. He says, "Thank you very much. First down, Ontario."
Ontario opportunistic on that loose ball.
It's 2 turnovers in this first quarter for Team Quebec. Yet they're hanging in there, 0-0 still with 1:20 to go and counting down.
So 1st and 10, ball on the 27-yard line now. Ontario Riley Chalmers takes a snap. He will hand it off to Froenberg, follows that offensive line, and gets a good gain on first down. Going to make it 2nd and 2 now for Ontario. Ball on the 35-yard line. This Ontario offensive line, one of the most impressive at this tournament. We saw them on day 1, first game down at field level, and just saw how athletic and big and fast they are. Froenberg gets the carry that time. A good job by the Quebec D-line. It's going to be close as the ref down here is signaling first down.
Tough run there. They needed 1.5 yards, and they got it.
Zero here, as this will be the last play of the first quarter. It's been a very fast first quarter. A couple turnovers. Teams still feeling each other out. Chalmers takes it. Play action to Bird. He's going to throw left. Good job by the Quebec defender to come up, but misses the tackle. Complete to number 3, Matthew Sam. He swims over a defender, and that is a big play to end the first quarter. Flag down, however.
Todd Galloway, the offensive coordinator for Team Ontario. He's a Laurier coach in the U Sport in the Ontario Conference. He finds a way to get Matthew Stam involved in many different ways. Now, Matthew Stam returns kicks in special teams. He's one of these returning players for Team Ontario, and they're trying to get him the ball a lot, and there's a reason for that, Chris. He is one of the most athletic players on that receiver team, on that Ontario team, in the group of receivers. Now, Ontario also a team with a lot of depth. Unfortunately, this reception, I don't think, will count as Ontario's being marched back 10 years. Was that a holding on that, Chris?
I believe it was, so that is going to push them back. They're determined that was be 4 yards gained. So now the ball gets pushed back to the 28-yard line. It's 1st and 20. Still the first quarter.
Last play of the quarter, bearing any penalties here.
Chalmers lines up with 3 to his right, 2 to his left. Blitz coming from Quebec. They time it up well. They try and run the draw, but the pressure gets there as Bird tries to make a few people miss, but that's going to end up being a loss on the play.
Yeah, that's tough as a coordinator when you go, you know what, I'll call something a little safer, just an inside run here. They went with a draw, but they end up losing 5 or 6 yards on that play. It's going to be 2nd and 25 to start the second quarter. Okay, 1 quarter of play, Chris. What have you seen so far?
I've seen 2 very strong football teams that are trying to feel each other out. They have a couple turnovers on both sides. Quebec was driving their last drive, however, turned the ball over on a fumble in the backfield, and Ontario D-line took advantage of it. It's been a good football game so far.
Yeah, I agree with you, and 2 things I've also seen is 2 defenses limiting each other on the ground. Ontario averaging 1.6 yards per play, Team BC averaging 0.9. These defenses, they're playing tough out there. And lastly, before we move forward on this, Fortier, 7 of 8 throwing the ball today. He's been 8 on 8 in terms of hitting his receivers in his hands. He's got to feel good about his game so far. Chris, we're joined here in the studio with Kevin McDonald. Kevin McDonald being the executive director at Football Canada, joined Football Canada 4 months ago. And Kevin, you've been in the shoes as executive director for 2 months now. How's it been going so far?
It's been awesome. It's been a great experience. It's been really nice to come back into the football ecosystem and reconnect with a lot of familiar faces, yours being one of them. It's been tremendous. I feel really privileged and honored to be able to be returning, back to football, which is where my, I spent a lot of time with my time at the CFL and built a lot of great relationships, and to be able to rekindle some of those has been a real joy and a pleasure, and I'm really looking forward to forming some new ones and, building on a lot of the great work that's been done to date.
That's wonderful. Kevin, you mentioned coming back to football. You've spent nearly 20 years in the Canadian Football League in various roles on the operations side of things. For some of our people at home who don't know you, tell us about that experience.
Well, CFL was great. I lucked into it, and I had 5 amazing years at Laurier. We had some amazing teams back in the early 90s. I'm kind of dating myself there, but was fortunate enough after I left Laurier to go to Kingston and coach for a couple of years at Queen's University with some amazing coaches and be around the game in that capacity. I had an opportunity to go out to Mount A and coach for a season. I had a 6-month stint over in Austria where I got to go and play and see the game internationally. So that was phenomenal. And then I came back to Canada. I think I was helping out volunteering with the Vanier Cup at the time, kind of pursuing and staying involved in what I loved doing. And just through some friends made a connection, and there was an opening at the CFL office. And I think when I started, we had 13 people maybe working at CFL headquarters at the time. Digital and social media really wasn't a thing yet, so to see the league really grow, I was one of a department of two people at the time. I joined in 2001. And then to see the growth of the game and the growth of our business and how the evolution of digital and social kind of took off, the numbers and the capacity in our office grew. It was amazing. I had an awesome experience. It was great to grow up in that organization professionally. I had some phenomenal leadership and commissioners and great executives that I had a chance to be part of a small leadership team and working with, and really had a chance to build and assemble a great team. And I've been really lucky with the experiences football has afforded me over my personal and professional life.
As Feltier pulls the ball here on a zone read type of play, good run by the quarterback. He'll be second in medium here.
Pretty good first quarter there. Teams are feeling each other out here.
Absolutely. Now, Kevin, you talked about you've got world of experience in many different ways, and I used the word world. You said Austria as well, international football. Football Canada lately, if I'm not wrong, it's been everything from IFAF tournament under 20, where a men's team won the gold. Absolutely amazing. Congratulations. We've had national flag tournaments go on at various levels. We had the U16 regionals. We got the U18 Canada Cup. You're coming in the middle of an extremely busy season.
Yeah, we've jumped into kind of an event. When I started in the interim role in April, it was really to come in and just support the staff. And very quickly in that interim capacity, I was unsure about my commitment to go forward full-time with the role, and within a week or two of working with the team at Football Canada's office, I fell in love with the staff, and I knew I was committed to wanting to pursue this role in a full-time capacity. So I was fortunate enough to emerge at the back end of that search as a successful candidate. And we dove in full speed. I haven't had a chance to really focus on the business per se, because we're in event space, and you mentioned some of the events we've had going on. We had 3 of our 4 teams down in LA this week on the international stage, U17, U15, men's and women's teams competing. We came back with 3 medals from an international competition down there. Gold in Edmonton, a few weeks ago at the World Championships. So it's been a good start to the summer. It's been amazing to get out and work with the staff and see how they, there's reasons why these people were hired, right? Because they're good at what they do. They're professionals, and I'm really excited about empowering our team to go out and be experts in their own area and help us grow this business forward. And I'm really excited about kind of just pushing the conversation forward on what football delivers to young people in this country. All the work across, coast to coast with our PSOs, the leadership in their communities to deliver the game and grow the game is critically important, and they're doing an amazing job. And as a national office, how we integrate with the work that the PSOs do is something I need to figure out, and we need to define what our priorities are for a national office and what areas of the business we need to really focus on. And I keep using the term business, and I don't mean that in a corporate sense, but in how we talk about ourselves, how we represent ourselves in the community, how we execute our events. The professionalism that we bring to everything has to continue to improve. So the table is set. We've got some really good frameworks in place, but we do need to keep pushing. We need to change the conversation with our partners in the CFL. I'm fortunate with the relationships I have there. I'm able to sit down and have those conversations, but when I'm speaking to people like you guys, I need to celebrate how amazing the Canadian Football League is, how amazing the American players are, but more importantly, how amazing our Canadian players are and how awesome they are on a world stage with phenomenal athletes that deliver a great game. Our Canadians in the NCAA, our Canadians in the NFL, we all need to talk so proudly about what we are, what we deliver, and then how they've started in our ecosystem and what they've come from and the programs they've come from and the coaches and the volunteers and the administrators that have all delivered an amazing experience to helping these people, these young people be leaders of tomorrow. Wow, what a catch.
As Matthew Stem, the star receiver for Team Ontario, leaps over the Quebec defender and gives Ontario a 1st and 10. Kevin, clearly, I think you've articulated a nice vision. I'm thankful for your leadership. I think it's going to be a fun opportunity for Football Canada, as you say, to rebrand themselves, to be purposeful in how we do things. I love your talk about business and vision. I think you'll bring some good leadership. It's exciting to have you on board.
Yeah, I'm excited. As you can tell, I'm excited. I get goosebumps. I get passionate about it. And I feel like one of the things I bring to the table, I'm proud of my ability to build relationships with people. What I say is what I represent, and I try to stick true to that. And we've got some work across the country to reunite, coast to coast, and actually get everybody back on the same page and really move this thing forward. Like I said, there's been a tremendous amount of work that's been done, but now we're, like I keep saying, the table's set, but there's an opportunity here to really do some great things together. And for me to spend time with the provinces, the leadership in those areas, to understand, the challenges and the wants and needs out of a national office is important, and for me to build those relationships is important.
As Quebec dials up the pressure here on 2nd and goal, they're going to force Ontario to attempt a field goal, and put the first points up on the board in this gold medal game.
That was a big play. That was a good time to bring somebody.
These teams are well coached, lots of U Sport coaches. It's really nice to see. It really is
I'm
highest
laughing
level.
Seeing Coach Underhill over there. Rob was a teammate of mine at Laurier, and I think may or may not have slept on my floor for a few months in residence when in between places to live.
Okay, more stories, Kevin, more stories. Yeah, a couple of coaches from Laurier as well. I think Todd Galloway, the offensive coordinator for Ontario, is at Laurier currently.
Yeah, I think he's their OC, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and it's nice to come back and see this level of play. When I was in high school, we didn't have the amateur sport system hadn't evolved to the level it is today. The way football has grown in our country has been amazing. Like club football didn't exist; it was high school, and then you're on to another sport. So to see the year-round opportunities for kids to hone their skills and their craft has been amazing. The flag component that's going to be part of the Olympics is a whole other dynamic that's really exciting and something to be part of. And I do believe that when we talk about football, we talk about all disciplines. And there's no real division in between tackle and flag, because I truly believe they're going to support one another. And the growth of one supports the growth of the other, and I truly believe that. We've just got to figure out the pathway forward for identifying those elite athletes that are going to be making up our national programs moving forward. Well, that's a great throw.
Fortier's been having a good game so far today.
Yeah, he's looked very good.
Young quarterback, younger than most of this tournament, so we're going to see him here again next year, the next Canada Cup.
Yeah, that's a position there, having played it, where you need reps at these elite competitions to learn and develop, and he looks pretty poised for a young man.
It sure is. Well, thank you so much, Kevin, for joining us. It's nice to get a bit of face time and audio time for the people at home to hear a word or two from you on your vision and your excitement for the game. I know that it's good news for us to know that we've got somebody in charge that's excited to be there and has passion and experience. So thank you for what you do, and thank you for taking the lead.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for your marathon effort here covering our tournament this week. It's been pretty exciting. And you guys have done an amazing job.
Ton of fun. Thank you so
very
much, Kevin.
Olivia, what did I miss?
Wow, it was fun. Good little change of pace. Got a chance to talk to Kevin McDonald, the executive director at Football New Brunswick. A man that's well-traveled in the world of football, right? He's played, he's coached, he's worked in the Canadian Football League for 20 years, and now we have him as our leader with Football Canada. So I'm excited.
Yeah, great interview. Great to hear about the new leadership at Football Canada. Obviously, lots of great things going on as I will get back to calling this game.
Yes, we've had an exciting one. I know we've been
watching the Rider game, too, at the same
quiet
time.
on the terms of describing what's been going on. There's been a number of great plays. Stem with the amazing catch, putting his team into field goal range. 3-0 Ontario, and they get the ball again at midfield.
Yeah, Ontario leading by a field goal. It's been a great first half. Very even one-score game here. 6 minutes remain in the first half still. Chalmers and Ferone Bird in the backfield. Lots of motion behind them. Chalmers takes the snap. Flag on the play. Jet sweep coming across to number 13. He's got some room on the right side. Breaks some tackles. He's got the field. We'll see what the flag is here. He's going to take that in for a 53-yard touchdown, number 13. That is Kaimari Smith. However, this might be coming back.
If this stands, it's a real game buster. We're opening this game up, and Kaimari Smith, not a name that we've called a lot in this tournament so far. They find a way to use him here on the jet sweep. It's a nice, easy completion for Chalmers. That is a pass, and it will stand, Chris. We've got ourselves a 9-0 lead for Team Ontario in what has been a fairly balanced game.
Yeah, it's been a very balanced game, and Kaimari Smith showing off his speed there on that 53-yard jet sweep, breaking tackles, and taking that all the way in for an Ontario score.
So, statistically speaking, that's a pass completion for Chalmers. He's going to like that one in the stats. He's now 5 for 7 with over 100 yards and a touchdown as his team takes the board. As I say that, the statisticians have put that up as a run. I've always called it a pass on a jet sweep because it's a forward push by the QB. If the ball is dropped, it's an incomplete pass. So to me, that is a pass, but I'll respect what's being put up on the board here in the stats.
So the extra point attempt is good as Team Ontario takes a 10-0 lead with 6 minutes and 20 seconds left here in the first half.
$7:30 p.m. here local time.
Beautiful night. Couldn't ask for a better night.
Unbelievable. So, there's no wind on this field. There's obviously no rain. It's been warm outside, but not too hot. I mean, it's perfect football conditions. Whoever wins today or whoever loses today, they can't blame it on the weather, I'll tell you that.
The turf could use some rain.
Yeah, it's fairly green on certain yard marks, but that old joke is starting to get old and stale. 16
It's our last chance to get it
16
in.
games in the making.
As Ontario will kick this one away.
Big, strong kick into the end zone, 7-8 yards
And
deep.
it's fumbled in the end zone. He's going to get it out there. He's going to be brought down at the 4-yard line. No flags. He must have heard me talking about the leg strength of Iris Hozak, and that is a heck of a kick.
Yes.
Scotty beside us is amazed at that kick as well.
Beautiful kick. And tell you what, the only thing I wish for Team Quebec is to take a knee in that situation, right? You want to get up the point, get the ball on the 35-yard line.
Yeah, I'd definitely give up a point for the extra 30 yards of field position here.
Now they've got a chance to make me eat my words. If they drive down the field here and get any kind of good field position or a field goal or a touchdown, then obviously this was the right decision.
So Fortier in the gun, turns, hands it off to number 24, finds some room up the middle there. That is Sebastian Marie.
Good, strong run. He gets 10-plus yards there. It's first down on the 15-yard line. Quebec needed that to get out of their own end.
And we'll move the sticks, first down. Both teams with both timeouts left.
Quebec having used 7 different rushers so far, Chris.
Yeah, I love the way that they spread the ball around, both in the receiving group and the running back group.
Yeah, 11 different players have rushed or received the pass today.
That time, nowhere going on the run there for Marie, and that's going to be bring up second and long.
It's Fortier time. Will he go to Noah Barth or maybe Fafard? Or is it Olivier Dallaire this time?
So many great options. While you guys were doing that interview, I was sitting here watching that and just watching Fortier throw as he has trouble with the snap there, and he's going to get hit high, no flag, quarterback sack. That Ontario D-line punishing the quarterback on that one.
Yeah, he manages to get a yard or two on that, but they're going to have to punt. Tough way to end the drive there for Team Quebec. It's 5:02 remaining in the second quarter. They're going to want to get some points on the board before the half.
Yeah, Fortier bobbles the snap there and pays for it on the play, and that's going to force third and long as they will punt this one away. Charpentier set to punt it. Good snap. Good protection. That one's going to be a great kick as it goes over the returner's head. He does end up getting it on the bounce, and a great job by the Quebec cover team there as we see a defender fly by, but that is a great punt for Quebec.
Number 16 on the punt cover, it's Hugo Beauchamp. He's a receiver from Saint-Julie, Quebec. Good game so far. It's a 10-0 lead for Team Ontario, but both teams showing that they belong here. Outside of that 52-yard jet sweep, statistically speaking, both teams have been exactly equal on offense.
So Chalmers and Ferron Bird in the backfield. Chalmers takes the snap, hands off to Bird that time, met right away, breaks a tackle, spins out of it, heading towards the sideline, breaks another tackle, runs over a Quebec defender, and that's a first down run for the Ontario running back.
Good thing Jacob Moret was willing to go nice and low on the ball carrier, because Ferron Bird making people miss left, right, and center and bouncing that one outside. It's a good gain. It's first down, Team Ontario.
As we see the replay here, Ferron Bird punishing the Quebec defender, and that does move the sticks up to the 46-yard line. Now 4 minutes remain in this first half.
Ferron Bird listed at 5'8", 165, but he runs more like a 195.
Blitz coming once again. Chalmers has time, trying to take a deep shot. He has a receiver, and he hits him out on the field side. Number one makes a cut back in, trying to make defenders miss, swims over another, and that is Benjamin Kingston with the reception.
Good job of the quarterback to find him. This was a cover 3, so the corner bailed nice and deep, and he left the field side flats wide open. Now, teams often do that in Canada because to throw a 5-yard out or an 8-yard out type of thing in the field, it's a long throw, and usually quarterbacks, are a little tentative into taking those, but Chalmers finds him for the great gain. That's a good play from Team Ontario.
That sets them up first and goal, ball on the 7-yard line. Chalmers and Ferron Bird in the backfield. Chalmers quick throw to the right, complete to his receiver. Has lots of room out there, number 85. And he's going to take it in for an Ontario touchdown.
Gabriel Hamilton receives a little bubble screen, makes a quick move inside, bounces it out, and finds his way to the end zone. Touchdown, Team Ontario. It's an early 16-0 lead with 3 minutes left before the half.
Great play call there. The Ontario offense having their way right now on the last couple drives. Increases their lead now to 2 scores as the extra point attempt is coming up, trying to increase it to 3.
7 of 9 passing for Chalmers with 167 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's got to be happy with his performance so far today.
Zachary Aubin, the kicker, snap down, good hold, flags down, early movement as the whistles were blown before the kick was made.
Okay, if you're Team Quebec, you can't panic. It's not the start that you wanted, but you can still make this maybe 16-8 or 16-7 or 17-7 perhaps at the half. You get 3 minutes left here and hopefully drive down the field and get some points. They need some right now.
22.
Matthew Jurczyk, the running back from Bishop Tonneau CSS. Slow to get up, but he seems totally fine, jogging to the sideline.
The officials asking if they would like to apply that now or on the kickoff. So it looks like they are going to count that. Well, actually, maybe not. I was going to say they blew it dead before the play was done. So Ontario's going to have to try this again. I believe they will apply it on the next kickoff, though.
Yeah, I think you're correct, Chris. The decision to apply the penalty belongs to Quebec, and they chose to put that onto the kickoff unit.
So Auburn will have to line up to make this one again, right at the 3-minute mark. That kick is good and increases Ontario's lead to 3 scores, 17-0, with 3 minutes left here in the first half. As we hear Team Canada Soccer taking a lead here at the Copa America tournament, the PA announcer giving us an update. It's leading 2-1 right now.
Oh, wow. It's a bronze medal game, perhaps, for Team Canada Soccer. They can be proud of that. Team Canada being ranked, I believe, roughly on the 50th strongest nation in the world. It's one of our best rankings in years. They're going to be hosting the World Cup in a few years, and Canada Soccer on the uprise. But so is Football Canada.
That's right. Bronze medal has to improve your ranking a little bit, no?
For a tournament in the Americas, yeah, absolutely, because the other teams that we're going to list are Argentina, Brazil, and everybody else. But once you think, if you could finish third and you've got Argentina and Brazil in your group, you've done pretty good when it comes to international soccer.
So after the procedure call on the first extra point attempt that pushes Ontario back to the 40-yard line, however, Zachary Aubin and the booming Ontario sideline, it doesn't make a difference as it's caught at the goal line, number 14 with the return for Quebec. And he's going to be stuffed right there. Zachary Aubin is an absolute difference maker right now.
Sure is. Everybody who's playing against Team Ontario are starting drives inside their own 15-yard line. It's I guess Quebec takes on the 16, but yeah, Zachary Aubin, he's been a difference maker. He is, I would say, the top kicker in this tournament.
So 2 minutes, 54 seconds remain. Quebec still with 2 timeouts. Ball on the left hash. Fortier in the gun, takes the snap, looks to throw, looking right, finds his wide out there. That's number 80. That is complete. Brought down right away, though, by Giacomo Puzzisi.
Tyler Mercier has had a great tournament so far. It's his second catch today. Handled some kick return duties as well, the receiver that is.
2nd and 4 now. Forte looks right once again. Wide receiver screen complete to number 11. That is Noah Barth. Brought down right away, though, and that's going to be 3rd down and decision time for Quebec as the punt team will come on.
I think they have to here. 3rd and 4 coming up, perhaps. It's a difficult place on the field to go for it here. At midfield, I'd say maybe go for it. You want to get something on the board, but if you're unsuccessful here going for it, you're leaving Ontario the door wide open, so they have no choice but to punt.
Ontario with a big opportunity here to increase their lead before the end of this first half. They have 2 dangerous returners back there in Matthew Stam and Drake Logan. Apologies, it's actually Kaimari Smith back there with Matthew Stam. Carpentier will get this one away. It is going to be Smith on the return. Catches that in the air. He's got some room on this left sideline. Runs out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
Smith, the author of that 52-yard jet sweep reception. Touchdown earlier today. Good to see him involved in the punt return game. He's currently playing very fast.
He is playing very fast. I want to say he had a punt return for a touchdown, or a very long punt return for a touchdown in Wednesday's game. He's been one of these star receivers and athletes for the Ontario team.
One of many for this deep, talented squad.
So they will turn and they will hand it to Matthew Stam. He has tons of room on the right side, and that is another Team Ontario touchdown. However, the head official throws a late flag. This one will be after yards gained, and it is a hold. It's coming back.
Yeah, they'll likely allow here Ontario to have gained their first down. That's our assumption anyways so far. So we'll see a 1st down and 10 from roughly the same spot for Team Ontario. The crowd not liking this one.
So they're actually going to call that before yards gained. He threw that so late, I figured that would have been after, as the Matthew Stam was almost in the end zone by the time the flag came out. However, they'll call it before. So it's now 1st and 20. Ball remains on the left hash. Chalmers and Ferone Bird in the backfield. Blitz coming once again from Ontario. And they set up the screen. They do complete it to Ferone Bird. He's got Lyman out there. He's got room. Breaking a tackle and loses the ball on the play. We'll see who comes up with it. And Quebec forces the turnover on the play.
I mean, what a turn of events. You go from scoring, a 35-yard touchdown run to getting the holding penalty. And I thought great play call by Team Ontario, getting the screen in versus the Quebec blitz. Get 19-yard on it, but unfortunately fumbles it. Quebec takes over. They needed it. There's 2:02 left in the second quarter, and they got to get on this board.
Jeremy Burns with the forced fumble there for the Quebec defense, making a nice play following that screen pass. As Forte will run the draw play. That time as the running back is tripped up, that is Jonathan Chieta.
I get a good chuckle, Chris, as you say run the draw play before the ball's handed off, almost like you know your football and you saw it coming.
Wow. When the quarterback stands in the exact same spot and isn't really looking, you can tell. Gain of 2 on the play as the running back was tripped up. 2nd and 8 now. Ball on the 29-yard line. Both teams have both timeouts remaining in the first half here. Forte will look to throw. He's going to take a deep shot there. Finds a receiver through his hands and falls incomplete.
He had Noah Barth on the play. Maybe missed him a little bit throwing the ball behind his receiver. Barth wants to come down with that, but doesn't. It's 3rd and 8. They're going to have to punt once again. 1:43 to go in the second quarter.
Chapanche coming back out to punt this one away. It will be Smith and Stam back there to return once again for Ontario. Ontario have had great special teams in this tournament. They've had some big returns. I believe a couple of touchdowns on this punt return unit. Very well coached unit. As Charpentier will be pressured there, and he gets a short kick away, and that's going to go out of bounds on their side of half. Ontario's going to have good field position with 1.5 minutes remaining.
Looks like they'll take over on the 49-yard line. Chalmers has been excellent today, 7 for 9, or 8 for 10 if you want to count the jet sweep, for 180 yards and 2 touchdowns.
We will count that as a completed pass.
I do on my end, yes, I believe it is. It's a forward pass pushed by the quarterback forward. To me, that's the definition of a forward pass.
So Ontario takes over, 1:37 remaining, right hash. Chalmers in the gun, takes a snap, has 4 receivers to his left, finds a receiver there, and a bad throw by Chalmers, just missed Drake Logan there.
Yeah, you did miss him a little bit.
Sorry, that was intended for Gabriel Hamilton.
The Brantford, Ontario receiver, 2nd and 10 for Chalmers and the Ontario offense. Quebec dialing a lot of different looks. They're not afraid to pressure the quarterback. Is this another screen situation here, Chris?
I'm going to go with no. I think they are going to take a shot downfield this play.
That's a decent call. I like it.
5 receiver set for this Ontario. Sorry, they actually had a tight end on the boundary. They will just turn and hand it off to Froenberg that time as he breaks another tackle and brought down after a gain of about 4 on the play, as Ontario is going to play it fairly passive there as there's some late shoving. No flags thrown.
Quebec brought the pressure on the boundary. Ontario chose to run the ball to the boundary, so Quebec guessed right on that one, or maybe game planned correctly on that one. They'll force a punt with 1:26 to go. So Quebec gets one more shot here, Chris, at kind of getting the offense going again. They had such a good drive, their second drive of the game. They need another one like that to end the quarter.
The ever dangerous Zachary Aubin here. He's been turning over the field position here for Ontario. He has another opportunity to pin Quebec deep here to end the first half. Time is whistled in. It will run. Ontario likely letting this wind all the way down. Five seconds on the play clock. High snap, and that's going to go over Robin's head. He has no pressure, though. He has tons of time. He can take his time here. Cut back in. He'll kick this one away. Gets a beautiful punt away down the middle, and that's going to bounce right into the end zone as the returner falls down. We'll see where they mark it. The returner had time to be patient and pick that one up, but he panics. And I don't know where the refs are going to mark this one.
Again, Chris, it's one of these situations where take your time as a returner. Let it go in the end zone. Turn your shoulders so you can go north-south. Pick up the ball, either earn a no-yard penalty or get it to the one. They may have got what I'll say is slightly lucky, as it looks like they've
given the single to Ontario, so the ball will be moved up to the 35-yard line.
Again, what a situation, I think, as a punt returner, you can really take your time here. There's no rush into picking up the football, and maybe a lesson learned for the Quebec returner on that one.
So Quebec will start 35-yard line, 54 seconds remaining. They have a very strong armed quarterback and a great receiver group. Lots of time left. 2 timeouts remaining. Forte's going to look to throw. Has tons of time in the pocket. And that one is knocked down at the line of scrimmage, I believe, by the tall defensive lineman, Carter Gooden.
Quebec go in a traditional mesh concept, so you've got a slot back on each side of the formation running and meshing or crossing path, nice and short. It's a good man beater. What they also have with that is a kind of a deep hook in between the meshing players. So if Ontario's in zone, that player kind of can sit there and be open. They had him open, and the quarterback was very patient. He recognized zone. Only problem, the ball got tipped. Yeah,
that was actually number 57, William McNamara, with a great play at his defensive line position. The 6'4" D lineman. Forte in the pocket, pressured, throws that one away, and that one's going to be intercepted right at midfield by number 25 for Team Ontario. And he's going to return that, break some tackles, still on his feet. That is a great play by Paolo Grossi.
Exact same play call from Team Quebec. They went with the mesh concept again. They once again try to hit the deep hook player, but the quarterback just overshot him by about 10 yards. It fell right in the hands of Grossi, who's thankfully just says, all right, I'll take this one. Runs over a Quebec player on his way to a 15-yard return. It's momentum, Team Ontario.
Yeah, Quebec not playing to the level that we've seen so far in this tournament, including Fortier throws another interception on the play as Ontario is going to look to increase their lead now. The last 2 minutes have had a handful of turnovers as Quebec's going to send pressure, and they are offside on the play. Froenberg gets the handoff, so Ontario going to take the 5-yard penalty here.
Mathis Lessard on a tackle, but as you said, Chris, it likely will not count. It'll be 1st and 5, Team Ontario. 30 seconds to go in this second quarter.
As we see the ever-changing substitutions on this Quebec team, offense and defense. Offside is the call.
Good eye, Chris.
Second and 5, 30 seconds remain now. Lots of time for this Ontario offense. They also have a very strong legged kicker, so they are in field goal position here either way. Four receiver set as Quebec almost offside once again, and Chalmers is going to find number 85, Gabriel Hamilton, for the 29-yard touchdown. Flags down. I believe Quebec was offside again. We'll see. As it looks like Ontario is going to be walking back. It's a procedure call, not blown dead. Maybe no end on that field side.
Gabriel Hamilton just beat the defender. Got around him fairly easily, had a good 5-6 yard separation, a good throw by the quarterback. But as you said, Chris, this will not count.
Yeah, so no end procedure against Ontario. If I'm them, I might look for that matchup once again. That pushes them back to the 34-yard line. Quebec showing pressure again. Jet sweep once again that time. Breaks a tackle in the backfield. Makes another man miss that time. And he's going to be brought down for no gain on the play. Amari Smith making a man miss in the backfield, but just too many blue jerseys in the way there.
Yeah, if I'm here as the Madden ranking evaluation, I'm adding +3 to agility for Smith. He's making people miss everywhere. He's looking fast. He's quick. You're doing a good job getting him involved today in this first half.
Time running as now Ontario takes a timeout as a couple seconds come off the clock.
12 seconds, totally fine. Ontario might look to just run the ball here and then send their field goal team out to try to take a 21-zip lead. They also can opt to take a shot here if they want. They've had success in the air, so decision time for Rob Underhill and Todd Galloway as they share the head coach and offensive coordinator duties.
Ontario will have one timeout remaining.
Galloway taking his time here, talking to his quarterback, maybe giving him an option or two. As a coordinator, you always want to get some face time or your QB when you can during timeouts, see how they're feeling. It's one thing to call the game. It's another thing for your quarterback to be comfortable with your calls. Quebec with a late substitution here.
So we see the crowd erupting here for some reason down there, not sure why. It's a late substitution there for Quebec after the timeout as Chalmers will take it. He's going to look to throw. He's going to be brought down on the sack, and we're going to be in a tough decision here for Ontario now.
Yeah, it's a nightmare for Team Ontario. Anything but a sack would have been fine. But yeah, they lose 10 yards on that play.
Third down.
Looks like forward progress, Chris, is actually going to be marked at the 41. We thought it was going to be more the 45, 46. So Ontario could line up for 48-yard field goal. We talked about the kicker having a 50-yard leg. Do we put it to the
might get
test?
to find out. I think that they should give him a chance. Now I'm just asking for it because I want to see if he can make it. Quebec calling a timeout here with 8 seconds remaining.
But there's always a risk in these long field goals, right? You've got a lot of offensive linemen on the field. They're not the best cover people for a long special teams play. So if you miss this field goal, there's a lot of room for Olivier Dallaire, the returner. He's likely going to try to take this to the field side and try to use grass as to his advantage.
They're going to punt this one away.
Well, there we go. Olivier Dallaire then needs to stand in the end zone and just make sure he takes the ball out.
You think
not give up the single?
Yeah, Auburn likely aiming for a single here with only 8 seconds remaining. Aiming towards that boundary, low snap. And he booms this one away, and that's going to be caught at the 2-yard line by the Quebec returner. He's got some room on the left side, but going to run out of bounds, and that's going to bring us to the end of the first half. Team Ontario leading Quebec 18-0 in this 2024 Football Canada Cup gold medal game.
18-0.
pull the dog in the
We can.
I would dare you. I have so much blood. So much. The best blood. Pure blood. Greatest blood in America.
Captain! Captain! Three half of football both sides. Any questions? Ontario, you won the toss, you defer your choice now. You want to kick this way? Switch sides then, folks. Ontario has chose to receive. Let's shake hands. Have a great second half.
Welcome back, everyone. We are about to kick off the final half of football here in Regina for this 2024 Canada Cup. Team Ontario leading Quebec by 3 scores. Quebec going to be kicking off to Ontario to start this second half. Tristan Charpentier getting ready to kick this one off. Quebec still in the huddle there, and as they break off and split up. And that ball is going to be caught at the 13-yard line by the Ontario returner. That is Kaimari Smith, and he's got room on the right side. Cuts back in, and he's going to get that all the way up to a 53-yard line. A great start for this Ontario team to start the second half.
And Smith has just been good all around today and all week long as one of the premier returners in the entire tournament.
Yeah, he has been incredible, especially these last 2 games. He had a great first half as well, taking a jet sweep in for a 53-yard touchdown. He had another one called back as Chalmers is in the gun with Ferone Bird. He'll take it. Has a couple pulling linemen, hands it off to Ferone Bird. Good patient run, gain of 4 on the play.
It's do or die for Quebec right now. They need to start this half the right way. They need to get a stop early on here, get a possession, and need to go down the field and score. If they can do that, if they can turn this game around and maybe be down 18-7 to give themselves a real chance. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, definitely not the start they wanted on that opening kickoff here to start the second half. It's now 2nd and 6, ball in the 54. Blitz coming, early movement, and there's a flag thrown. However, it's not procedure, maybe calling it offside. Thought it might be a procedure. I saw that H-back jump and twitch, and it looked like, it maybe jumped off the line. However, we'll see what the call is here.
It looks to be against Ontario, so this penalty will be declined. Quebec does get what they need here, a 2-and-out to start the third quarter.
That penalty will be declined, so it will be a not a 2-and-out, but 2-and-out for this Quebec defense. Doing their job to start this one. Zachary Aubrin has had a great tournament kicking and punting for Ontario. The 5'11" athlete from Long Sault, Ontario. Procedure once again. we see special teams coordinator Chris Hopkins not happy about that one. Not at the refs, though, at his players.
This is good. They continue to demand a high standard, even though they're on their way to winning a gold medal. They want to do things properly, and Chris Hopkins I've played with. I had 3 years playing experience with Chris Hopkins.
He was your center, right?
Yeah. And I've seen Chris Hopkins coach at all levels. He's now at McMaster University. He was spent some time at Carleton University, but he's now at McMaster, and as their offensive coordinator, and always demands a lot of his athletes.
As Aubin gets hit on the play, no flag, and there it is, thrown late by the head official. So this is going to be a penalty for running into the kicker. We'll see likely not a roughing call here.
Correct. Running into the pepper, a 5-yard penalty, so it will not be first down for Ontario, although that's what they hope to see. I don't think it will.
Olivia, we forgot to buy our 50-50 tickets. What the heck? Someone's going home with some money here. And Ontario, not surprisingly, choosing to take the yards and re-kick this one.
Yeah, they'll look to get a better result out of their kick, and now Team Quebec has to be careful because another one of those, and it'd be first down. Now, I didn't realize running to the kicker was 10-yard penalty, so it is 3rd and 1.5 here. Ontario could run a fake.
Yeah, it's now 3rd and 2.
Quebec aggressive in the line of scrimmage here, showing 11 people on the line.
Good snap. Aubin gets a decent punt away. That's going to be caught at the 16-yard line by the Quebec returner, and no big return on the play, and that's where they will start their first offensive drive, as we have an injured Ontario player at the end of that one.
Great coverage by Ontario, really limiting that punt return. There's not much for the Quebec returner there. Really not much. A gain of about 3 on the punt return. Great job. Team Ontario special teams units have been top-notch all tournament long. Helped by a very strong-legged kicker.
Yes, absolutely.
Faultier coming back in the game. He started the game 7 of 8 passing. Since then, he's been 1 of 6. So, again, if you can get back to the great drive they had in the first quarter, if he can find his rhythm once again. He was so successful during that great drive. It looked easy money for him. It's been more challenging since.
Yeah, and we know Quebec has the big play ability. It's still a 2-score game with 10 minutes left here in the third quarter. Lots and lots of time remaining for Quebec here. Sorry, 3-score game, yes.
Yeah, it is, and there's still plenty of time. No reason to panic or push anything downfield more than you need to. You just need a good drive here. You need to feel good and get some points on the board. Whether that's 3 or 7, it would cut down the lead to 2 scores. And La Belle Province needs a few first downs here.
Sean Dunbrack, the injured player for Team Ontario, as he's able to walk off with the training staff. Looks like he will be okay, as this Quebec offense will start on the 19-yard line. Louis Fortier takes the snap, hands it off inside to number 24, his running back, Sebastian Maury. And short gain on the play.
Ontario's starting to play it safe on defense now, just kind of showing a cover 3 hold, very basic coverage, kind of saying like, okay, no big plays against us. If you're going to drive the field, it'll be 5 yards at a time, and a long drive is what Ontario wants to force Quebec to do here.
You see a late substitution now for Quebec. The gates were, I believe, not up yet, so they should be okay here. 10 seconds remain on the play clock. Pressure coming from Ontario. Forte gets that ball away, complete to the left side, and that's going to be a Quebec first down, complete to number 80, Tyler Mercier.
Mercier, a great target for Team Quebec in the quick screen game. He's agile. He's capable of making people miss. That's a first down.
Quebec taking what the defense gives them there. We saw Ontario being aggressive on second down there. Ball moved up to the 36-yard line now. First down, quad to the right. Forte takes it, hands it off inside. Met right away by the Ontario D lineman, for a no gain on the play. That is number 95, Carter Gooden.
Ontario defense limiting Quebec to 2.4 yards a carry on the ground. It's been the story of the day, just not letting Quebec get any easy yards. They're saying if you're going to beat us, it needs to be perfect throwing. We're not letting you beat us on the ground.
Yeah, this Ontario D-line, one of the, if not strongest units in the tournament. Flag thrown at the snap. Throw in deep for Ortiz. That's incomplete. We'll see. It might be an offside against Ontario here.
He was looking for Olivier Dallaire, the punt returner receiver for Team Quebec, on the corner route in the boundary, but this one falls incomplete. Penalty's going to be against Team Ontario. It's likely going to be 2nd and 4 here.
Yeah, it is offside against Ontario, so that will move Quebec up 5 yards.
Ontario defensive corner, that's Adam Grandy. He's a special teams coordinator at Western University. He's been at Western for a few years now. Coordinating the defense for this Team Ontario team. A very good, very strong defense, holding Quebec to 0 so far in this game.
Yeah, playing great in this gold medal game so far, limiting the gains, taking advantage of some balls on the turf for Quebec as Forte will look, throw complete to number 3. That is Maxime Latondesse. And as he tries to get some extra yards there, it's going to be 3rd and short. Yeah, interesting there with the forward progress. He bounced off a tackle there, trying to make some more people miss. He caught it right at the line there. Looks like it's a decent spot watching the replay.
The Quebec coach is asking, why is this not forward progress? Why is this not a first down? I was also kind of perplexed on that, but perhaps the receiver made a move by himself to lose yards. Either way, they got Maxime Latendresse involved. He's going to take the quarterback sneak here.
They've been very good at this Quebec offense. Latendresse takes it, goes off the left side, and that's now going to be a first down for Quebec.
Yes, it is, and head coach Team Quebec, Alex Surprenant, he said, look, we're going to involve Maxime a bit more than the previous game, though, so you're going to keep seeing him get the ball. He's so far carried the ball twice, and he's got 2 receptions as well.
That moves the sticks for this Quebec offense. A very important drive here. 7 minutes remain in the third quarter. They're down 3 scores.
2 for 2 passing in this drive at 2 first downs.
Forte looks to throw, fakes it, and that's going to throw a pick, and that one's going to go all the way back for an Ontario touchdown. Number 53 with the pick 6, Dylan Tharby threw it right to him. Flag thrown.
The linebacker read it perfectly, turned his hips, sprinted towards the receiver, looked back for the ball, got the interception, and
see if we can see on the
took
replay
it to the house.
what happened is there's an injured Ontario player.
That's 57 who's down, William McNara, the D lineman from Laurel Height SS in Waterloo.
The penalty is against Quebec, so they will apply that on the kickoff. Unnecessary roughness after that pick.
Well, tough day so far for Team Quebec. They're not playing bad football. It's just that Ontario has made the best out of almost every opportunity, and yeah, they're about to take a 25-0 lead here.
As the injured linebacker is able to walk off with the trainers here.
McNamara seems to be quite fine. Just shaking up on the play.
So Zachary Auburn will come on to attempt a an extra point attempt.
It's 4 turnovers for the Quebec offense. I think it's been the biggest difference maker in this game. They haven't played poor. It's just that Ontario's made some big plays.
They have. Linebacker doing a good job on that one, throwing right to him, right at his chest, catches it, makes the most of it, takes that all the way back for a pick 6. Ontario now leading by 25, still halfway through the third quarter.
That interception from Tharby was a 52-yard interception for the touchdown, the longest play of today's game. As we learned that the 2-1 lead for Team Canada in the Copa America Championship in men's soccer dissipated. Team Canada ended up losing in penalties and finishing 4th. Still a respectful result. they'll be unhappy with losing that game. But I think overall, if you said Team Canada is going to reach the semifinals, losing penalties and finish fourth, I believe it's the best standing of all time for our men's soccer program.
Yeah, Larry, I know you are a big soccer fan and had the opportunity to watch some of those games with you. It was exciting.
I'm a big fan of our country's national teams. Take a lot of pride into, well, actually, Football Canada of all places. You know, you and I, we talk about this often. I've had the privilege of coaching for 3 consecutive IFAF tournaments with our women's national program, and it's something I take a lot of pride in, and cheering all the Team Canadas out there.
After that unnecessary roughness penalty, Zachary Auburn's going to be kicking this from the 50. He could easily kick it through the back of the end zone if he wants to. This time he's going to kick it high and right to the goal line, as Ontario has an opportunity here to get great field position for their defense, which they do. A good kick there by Aubin.
Team Quebec will start on their own 8 or 9 yard line as the Team Ontario player is slow to get up. That's number 22, Matthew Jurchitz, their running back, who plays a lot of special teams. Special teamer extraordinaire, 6 foot, 190-pound running back out of Ancaster, Ontario.
Well, we have a moment. Let's talk about women's football, Olivier. You and I both coach women's football for many years. Most recently here with the Regina Riot. This past year, I've been coaching with them for 14 years. You've been coaching off and on for 9 years with them now. And you've mentioned your participation with the Team Canada team. That should be coming up in a couple years again, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that is the assumption. IFAF international championships are usually every 4 years, so we're likely seeing another tournament. It hasn't been announced yet. Not sure where it's going to be. It was in Finland the last go-round. We had athletes from Alberta, from Manitoba, Saskatchewan, from Quebec, New Brunswick, one from BC as well, all representing Team Canada.
Yeah, we're hopeful that the senior women's national tournament returns here, as we've been, unfortunately, the last one was canceled due to COVID, and we haven't had one since 2015, 2016, if I'm not mistaken, so it's about time. As this time, different quarterback is in for Quebec, as they will turn and hand it off. Flags thrown at the snap, though.
And I'm making a mistake not mentioning one athlete from Team Ontario as well. Sorry, from Ontario as well, making that women's national team. Ontario and Quebec kind of restarting their youth programs in women's football and their senior programs as well. So you're starting to see more and more teams play the game from across the country. Obviously, a few teams in Alberta. There used to be a few teams in Manitoba, still one. Saskatchewan, we have a few teams. New Brunswick has 3 teams. Nova Scotia has a team. PI is working on a team. So we're almost there from coast to coast, just missing British Columbia right now and our territories.
Yeah, BC's got to get in on that for sure. We'd love to see them at the national tournament.
And BC has done the first step, I think, in rejoining Football Canada after being absent for a few years, and now they're rebuilding their programs, and I'm sure we'll see them in the women's space as well very soon.
Zachary Deschamps in now at quarterback for Quebec. He will throw, finds number 19 in their flat there as the receiver slips. And it's going to be second and short now. Olivier Dallaire with the reception there and finds the turf monster.
Good tournament for Olivier Dallaire. He's got 3 catches today already, tied for first on his team with Tyler Mercier. Quebec really spreading the ball around. One running back has 3 touches, one running back has 5 touches, and then it's 3, 2, and 1 all around the place. So 8 different ball carriers for Team Quebec so far today, 6 different receivers.
Second and 2 for Deschamps. He has a receiver open deep, and that's going to be dropped by that receiver. That was a good throw, a little behind, but should have been caught on the play.
Yeah, this was Maxime Latendresse' opportunity to make a big play for his team. Unfortunately, this one falls to the ground. He won't be happy with that one. Quebec's going to have to go and punt this ball away. It's every bounce going Ontario's way, and it's not, we keep talking about how well Quebec is playing. Let's talk about Team Ontario. They've been absolutely outstanding. Strong team, lots of depth, well organized.
Very disciplined on the field
Yeah,
as well.
very disciplined. No bad penalties, and I thought the coaching staff clearly has put together a good culture because, we don't see them ever in moments of panics. Now, it helps when you're winning every game.
That does help. However, they've been playing at a high level as we see Quebec short a player on this punt. They're just going to let it run down here. And
No
the
doubt.
time count will be thrown. So now that pushes them back into the end zone. Olivier, do you think that they will still kick this one away or just give up the 2 points at this point and take the field position?
It's difficult. Down 25-0. I don't really know what the right answer is. There's a part of me that says you don't want to show that you're absolutely not giving up and you want to take every chance possible to claw back in this game. The other side of me says you're deep in your own end. You give up the 2. It's a tough decision for the head coaches.
So we'll see what Charpentier will do here. He does have a big leg, however, he will give up a safety there, so that will increase Ontario's lead with 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter, and they will take the field position change there.
Yeah, and that's one of these many decisions that coaches have to take throughout a game that we don't always think about, or prepare for. I don't, having been a head coach for 2 years, 2 programs, I don't often go through the scenario of what if I'm losing by 25 in the third. All right, do I take a knee or go or punt or take more chances? It's not a position you want to be in. It's a tough one to be in from a comeback point of view. This game is not out of reach yet, but Quebec needs to make some seriously big plays. They need to do so fast to get back in this one.
So Ontario takes over at the 35. Quebec showing pressure. They're going to pitch it out to Kaimari Smith once again on that jet sweep. Makes the defender miss, swims around him, keeps on his feet, tripped over at the 50-yard line, but another great job by Kaimari Smith.
That jet sweep has been one of the best plays for Team Ontario. We see a lot of teams try to jet sweep. They don't necessarily always get the edge. They try to set up other things, but Ontario is running jet because they want to run jet, not because they're setting other things. And they've had 3 attempts today, 1 for 52 yards and a touchdown, 1 for 40 yards and a touchdown called back, and then this one here for 15 or 17 yards almost broke it all the way.
Yeah, Kaimari Smith has been a weapon in today's game. 1 touchdown called back as well. Earlier in the game, he had 1 called back. He did have 1 as well.
Stam.
That was Stam. Okay. So they will turn, and we haven't called Ferron's bird name in a little while, but he's met in the backfield for a loss that time.
Good job, Team Quebec defensive front, getting in the backfield quickly, not leaving any options for Ferron Smith.
Sacha Duran with the tackle there. So 2nd and long now for this Ontario offense.
It's a loss of 3 on that play, 2nd and 13.
We see here if they choose to be aggressive. I expect this Quebec defense to blitz quite a few people here. They have shown that they want to do that today as they line up with 6 on the line of scrimmage.
It's
They
cover
will bring
0.
5. There's a flag down as that goes over the Ontario receiver's hands. Almost gets it. There's another late flag here, so there's 2 flags they had to figure out.
Confusions with the Quebec defensive backs, and it's a philosophy thing. You coach defense, tell me what you think, but Quebec defenders going banjo or switch, whatever you want to call it, but problem is only one of the 2 DBs was thinking we're going to switch, the other one stayed, so there's a wide open Ontario receiver. Quebec's lucky that Ontario couldn't capitalize on that.
Yeah, I'm usually willing to let the defensive backs try it out in practice and see what they're comfortable with. And if I can see them do either the switch or stay technique and they're good with it, can communicate with each other, maybe if they've been playing together for a long time, then I'm okay with them doing that. Obviously, the switch technique is probably the preferred option. However, situations like that can arise.
Yeah, I think it's difficult to do a switch when you're playing on the same level. So level, I mean, you're playing on the same yard line on defense. So when you've got a player and you're going to play man, I think generally speaking, you want to be on different levels, ability to kind of move freely. So if you want to switch, you're not stepping on each other's toes. Quebec was in sticks coverage there, a bit tougher position to do so. That said, not necessarily tougher. These are things that you can practice and get good at.
Offside Ontario, unnecessary roughness Ontario. So that's going to push them back, a dead ball foul. It's now going to be 3rd and 28.
Now, is that the announcer's curse, Chris? Because we just said they're so disciplined and don't take these kind of
Maybe
penalties?
we might have, although there was quite a bit of time in between that, so I don't know. As Zachary Auburn is going to have an opportunity to show off his leg strength here. Olivier can get ready to count the net yards on this punt. They have been pretty good at it, though. Heaven Lacombe back to return for Quebec. Another dangerous returner in this tournament. Zachary Auburn will get a decent punt away. That's going to be bouncing at the 40. Goes by Lacombe. I don't believe he touched that, so Ontario's going to give up a no yards call, and that might be of the 15-yard variety. The defender made no effort to give 5 yards there. We'll see what the refs call.
Yeah, that is correct. So Ontario getting a good bounce off a 36, 37-yard punt-ish. Quebec will benefit from the 15 yards added on here. It's a 5-yard.
Only going to move it up 5, yeah.
It's a 45-yard net on the punt, regardless.
Thought they might make it a 15, considering the defender made no attempt to get out of that 5 yards, but it is only a 5-yard penalty, as we will see Zachary Deschamps stay in at quarterback here. Look to throw. He's going to take a shot over the seam. Has a receiver. That is Maxime Latendresse, and that's going to be a big gain on first down.
I love that they went back to Latendresse after he had a drop early on. Maxime had a great tournament, the physical receiver, so he gets rewarded there with a 15-yard gain. It's first down, Team Quebec near midfield.
Dylan Tharby with the tackle eventually, but that is a big gain for Quebec. Still just under 3 minutes remain here in the third quarter. Lots of time if Quebec can get on the board, but they have to do it on this drive if they want a chance. Deschamps takes it, looks to throw, quick pass over the middle, and that is too high for the intended receiver. Intended for Mercier. As Ontario is going to sub on the pass coverage unit and some fresh D linemen for 2nd and 10.
Deschamps, the École secondaire Curie-Antoine Labelle in Laval.
See, I saw that earlier, and I'm like, I'm not trying that one. Too high safety look for Ontario on 2nd and 10. Deschamps takes a snap, looks to throw, throws it over the middle, and that's going to be another pick for Ontario by number 53. That is Dylan Tharby.
It's his second of the day. We know his name well now. He's, with those kind of big plays and kind of sealing the game for Team Ontario, he's going to be a candidate for defensive MVP. Tharby with 3 total tackles today, but most importantly for him, 2 interceptions, including a touchdown. The linebacker that knows how to drop in the coverage. Has a knack for the football, clearly.
From Corpus Christi in Burlington, Ontario. Riley Chalmers in the gun for Owen Bird. Lots of pressure coming from Quebec. No flag thrown. Thought they were offside once again as Owen Bird spins in the backfield. Makes one man miss, but brought down for a loss on the play. Zion Izagohi with the tackle in the backfield.
Izagohi from the Lakeshore Cougars program in St. Lazare. Nice tackle for a loss as he's a little bit slow to get up. Ontario getting ready for 2nd and 15.
Take this opportunity to just give one final thanks to all the volunteers here at this tournament. We mentioned there's 18 members of the Regina Riot that have been helping here throughout the week. Team that we coach, very proud of that. We've seen members from the Regina Rams, Regina Thunder, Football Sask, obviously volunteers here making it happen as well. Sports Canada TV and Football Canada for putting on this tournament. Camera crew doing a great job up here in the booth, down at field level. We see Thomas Retzlaff up here filming for the teams, so they have film that they can watch in between games. Just so many people making this tournament happen. It's been a beautiful week for football, and what a night to end it off on.
Yeah, it's been a good experience for the kids as well. You know, they're staying in residence in the University of Regina, and they're fed and lodged and transported from practice to game. And, you know, only one team gets to walk away with 3 wins this tournament. That will likely be Team Ontario, but 7 other teams had a great experience in this tournament where you get better at football, where you get to, again, I'll say it again, celebrate this football community, meet new players, people that you might compete against, you know, the high school level, but that are your teammates now, or maybe your teammates in the future at the youth sport level. It's a special tournament.
Chalmers will throw and throw. That is complete to number 85 on the reception. Gabriel Hamilton. It's going to be short of the yards to gain, though, and 3rd down coming up as there's an injured Quebec player. He's able to get up on the play.
Third and 6 here for Team Ontario.
We'll get to see Zachary Aubin attempt what should be a 38-yard field goal. Not 50, but that's okay. We'll be able to test out his leg strength either way.
Adam Belmoudine from Collège Notre-Dame is back there to return in the eventuality of a missed field goal.
Good snap, good hold. Zachary Aubin gets that one away. He's got a ton of leg as that goes out the back of the end zone for a field goal, and that increases Ontario's lead to 30 here in the third quarter.
I'm just going to say it, Chris. Zachary Aubin from Long Sault, Ontario, he's got a CFL caliber leg.
He does. We talked about Hosak in the game before, and Aubin showing off his leg strength there. I have no doubt that we'll see Zachary Aubin at the next level. And like you said, if he's making field goals like that in this tournament, I expect to see him in the CFL one day.
And let's keep in mind, these young men, they're 16 and 17 years old. I'm extremely impressed.
Were you making that kind of kick? No, you weren't. Okay.
Absolutely not.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's okay. As Deshaun Wilse in, taking another deep shot. He has a receiver, overthrown. It's going to be picked off on the play, as the Ontario defensive back will run out of bounds there. That is number 19, Jordan Sprague, with the interception.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because Quebec had dialed up the right play there. They had somebody down the seam that was number 80, Tyler Mercier. He was open in the seam, but the quarterback just overthrew him a little bit, and it fell into the comfortable hands of Jordan Sprague, the DB from Ottawa, Ontario, Holy Trinity high school player. As Ontario takes over here on the left hash on the 50-yard line.
50-yard line here for Riley Chalmers and Ferone Bird as we see Ontario motion there. Quebec bringing heat once again. Chalmers gets that one away into the flat. To number 3, Matthew Stam. Nice play there for the Ontario offense. Adam Belmoudine pushes him out of bounds.
Matthew Stam, only his third touch of the day on offense. His second touch went for a touchdown, but called back on a holding penalty. He's approaching he's leading his team in the receiving yards, now above the 45-yard mark.
Chalmers is going to take the snap. He will hand it off to Ferone Bird. He's going to try and hit the right side there and track down there by the Quebec defender for a loss in the backfield. That is Belmoudine once again.
Belmoudine has the right to celebrate after a nice tackle on the oh-so-elusive Ontario running back. He's forcing a 2-and-out after his team's interception. That's a good play for the young defensive back from Quebec.
Punt team now coming on for Ontario. 20 seconds remain here in the third quarter.
Sorry, almost ran you over.
That look on the replay here. Nice footwork by the running back before getting chopped down.
Aubin's going to punt this one away. High, towering punt. Lands around the 8-yard line and goes into the end zone for a single.
Ontario will take a 31-0 lead with one play remaining in this third quarter. Quebec punt returner seems to be confused with the single being awarded. I wonder, Chris, if there's a rule difference in Quebec that I'm not aware of, because we've seen maybe decisions we wouldn't have made, you and I, on the punt return side of things, and I'm starting to wonder if perhaps there's rule differences that are new to some of these athletes.
Maybe. We've talked about BC and Quebec playing a little bit different football at times. We've mentioned how we would love to see the same football played across the country. As, the returner seemed confused there that he given up a single.
Yeah, and I value some, not parity, but equal rules across the country, because I think there's an advantage to that as everybody gets ready to play at the CJFL or U Sport level, maybe Canadian Football League level professionally one day. So I think there's some value in having the same rules being played at the high school level across the country, but for reasons that I don't know, we see some differences in the rules.
Yeah, for sure. And, we see here in Saskatchewan, we have obviously 12-a-side. We also have 9-a-side, 6-a-side. However, the basic rules of amateur football stay the same.
Correct. Here in Saskatchewan, we use the Canadian Amateur Football Rule Book, and every league is based on that. The small differences will... Well, I'm not sure there are many small differences outside of the obvious. If you're not playing 12-a-side football and you're playing 9-a-side, then of course it's going to be very different. But yeah, the base rules are, from my understanding, taken from our amateur football playbook. Rule book, pardon me.
So, Olivier, end of the third quarter. We have 1 quarter remaining in this tournament. As we see all the workers up here doing a great job. See if Quebec can get on the board. 2nd and 5.
As we look at the stats here, the big stat line, and if I had my yellow marker on a teleprompter, I would be circling that 5 interception mark. I think that's the one big difference today. In Quebec also losing a fumble early in the game for 6 turnovers on offense. It's as on cue.
That is Paolo Grossi with the pick 6 for the Ontario defense.
Touchdown, Ontario. They're sitting back and reacting to the ball right now and making the best out of their opportunities. It's been good for Team Ontario. 6 interceptions today now.
Yeah, Team Ontario showing their dominance here. We talked about it after the first game. We kind of looked at each other and we're like, man, that Ontario team is good. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see them in the gold medal game. And sure enough, we do. And as of right now, obviously dominating this game. That extra point attempt is good for Zachary Aubin. Living not the gold medal game that we were maybe looking forward to. Best game of the day so far was our second game between New Brunswick and Manitoba. It came down to the last play on the 1-yard line. There's a procedure call, and then it was the last play on the 6-yard line.
Yeah, we've had some good football games. 2 good teams going at it today. It's just that, it's fell in Ontario's hands a bit, literally, at times. But yes, the game of the day might have been the 5th place game between Team New Brunswick and Team Manitoba. Manitoba not able to win that game, but moving up from 8th place ranking to 6th. Team New Brunswick solidifying, saying that finishing 5th in 2023 was not a fluke. We're back-to-back 5th place team. They're happy with that standing. BC getting the best out of Manitoba earlier this morning, finishing 7th. That's back-to-back 7th positions for Team British Columbia.
A loud, booming chant in the crowd here as that kick is caught at the 6-yard line for the Quebec returner. And gets across. Ball loose on the ground. There's a late flag thrown. So we see a Quebec kick return member down, hurt on the play.
Antoine Fafa with a good return until he lost possession of that football. Team Ontario defense trotting onto the field. A couple of players down here.
Louis, let's take a second to talk about the Ontario offensive line. That was the first unit we saw on last Sunday here at Mosaic Stadium, and we, again, looked at them and said that is an impressive unit. Strong, big, athletic, and very fast.
Yeah, 7 of them on this roster, from Bishop Tonos, from Huron Heights, from St. Patrick's, from Delhi High School, from Bishop, from St. Andrews College, from Ancaster, 7 different schools. And, let me rattle off the size here, Chris. 6'4", 6'4", 6'3", 6'3", 6'7", 6'4", and 6'5".
A lot of 6s there.
Is that NFL, CFL size?
It might be. They are the best O-line unit in this tournament. They have shown it. They've given Riley Chalmers tons of time. Frone Bird has had tons of running lanes. And just overall, this Ontario team, I haven't seen any weak parts at all.
No, me neither. And when you average about 6'5", 295 on the offensive line and you move as fast as these guys do, you know you've got a special group. You know you got a group that's going to be playing the next level. And I think, Coach Underhill, we talked before the game, he kind of told me, he goes, every once in a while you have one of those teams. And he goes, this year we have one of those teams. And I think what I understood from that is that he felt that there was a lot of talent, athleticism. He knows his guys, they work hard, and loves his staff as well. It's 3 consecutive years, the same staff. So put some continuity in a disciplined program and these kind of athletes. I think he knew good things were going to happen for him today, and it was a humble way for him to kind of tell me that he's got a good team.
He does. We have an injured Quebec player down on the field. That is number 63, Luca Lavoie, being looked at by the training staff.
Luca Lavoie of the Bulldogs de Laval. 6'4", 270-pound O-lineman. Was playing in the kickoff return unit.
We'll take a quick break while Luca Lavoie gets looked at here. As we thankfully see Luca Lavoie walk off with the training staff there. That's a great sign.
Yeah, Lucas seems to be okay. Just needed some attention on the field there, and doesn't look like it's anything serious.
Yeah, it was unnecessary roughness on Team Ontario on the play. And I believe that's where the injury happened, as Quebec will throw on first down as there's defenders on the ground. And there is a penalty once again. I have a feeling this might be a retaliation penalty. Team Quebec O-line taken into their hands after that kickoff.
Benjamin Rassett gets caught on that one. The offensive lineman from the Voltigeur Collège Bourget out of Vaudreuil-Dorion.
Yeah, unnecessary roughness is the call against Quebec there.
I think you might be right, Chris, on your assumption on that penalty.
Louis Fortier back in the game here for Quebec. I have a feeling that we will be seeing him for the next couple of years for this Quebec offense. The young 15-year-old quarterback.
Has had a tremendous tournament.
Ontario bringing pressure this time. Fortier stands in the pocket, has time. Fortier gets hit on the play, gets that one away, complete to Latrondes. He's going to try and hit the sideline, stays in bounds, cuts all the way back finally tracked down from behind. No flags on the play.
That's a nearly 60-yard reception from Fortier de Latendresse. Latendresse now 3 receptions for 80-some-off yards. He's leading his team in yardage, both on the ground and in the air. 3 for 85, that is. They're going to release a 61-yard reception.
Quick injury timeout as the Ontario player is able to walk off with the training staff already.
That's Liam Butler, the defensive line out of Hamilton. He seems to be okay. As Latendresse comes off to the sideline here for a breather, they'll substitute number 16, Hugo Beauchamp, the receiver from Saint-Judy.
Fortier in the gun, motions his receivers, takes a snap, looks to throw, has time, going to take a deep shot over the left side. That is complete.
80.
To number 80 as he gets in the defensive back's face after no call.
Tyler Mercier playing with fire there in front of the official, trying to give it to the DB, but good pitch and catch. And we're seeing the Fortier that we saw in the first quarter, 2 consecutive completions. He's now 13 completions today for 162 yards. That was 21 yards on that pickup. First and goal from the 5.
Quebec going hurry up, of course. Looking at the sideline for the play calls. They're lined up already. 10 seconds remain on the play clock. Fortier takes the snap, looks to throw, looks left, looks right. He's going to take that shot on the right side, and that's going to be, is that going to be caught? And it is a touche Quebec, an incredible catch.
Touche Quebec. Well said, Chris, and well deserved for Team Quebec. That's back-to-back-to-back completions. Coming down with that ball is
That is
number 81.
Mercier. No, it's Tyler Mercier again with the reception.
My
Number
apologies. It's an incredible leaping catch by the field side receiver. Good trust and confidence from the quarterback throwing that bomb. It's a 5-yard bomb, but when it's across the field like that, it travels about 40 yards in the air.
Absolutely does. That extra point attempt is good. That cuts the lead down to 30. 8 minutes, 52 seconds remain here in the fourth quarter.
As we see our good friend Michael Scraper coming up in the booth. Can take a souvenir photo for us. Thank you, Michael. It's very kind of you to do so. We appreciate you and all the hard work you've put on. Mike Scraper is the official photographer of this tournament. It's Shoot with Scrapes. If you look him up on Google or Instagram, you'll see a lot of photos from every team here in this tournament.
Some of the best photos in the game by far. We work with him with the Riot, does great work.
He's the action shot man for football here in this province. He does videography, and photo. Michael does much more than just that, but we see him so much on the football field, you and I. He's becoming a good friend. It's good to see you, Michael. So as we see the return in for Team Ontario, receiver's going to smartly make his way out of bounds. As Ontario's offense gets onto the field, Mike, we decided to put you on the mic. Welcome to our broadcast, Mr. Scraper.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be up here. This is a new way to view the game. I'm not overly familiar with being this high up, normally down in the field, but thanks for having me.
You're usually so close to the action. Mike, walk us through. You know, for us at the end, we see your photos on a website or we purchase them, we see the final product, but what goes through into a day of shooting and maybe editing and uploading files? What does that look like for you?
Well, I've told a couple people so far this tournament, but me and my team have taken over 40,000 pictures between this tournament and between the U16 tournament that we hosted last week. But yeah, it's just a long day of being in the sun, taking pictures, and then using my fingers to just tap the arrows on my laptop probably 100,000 times in the last week. So my hands are tired, ready for a break, but it's been fun. Happy to be here.
That's fair. 40,000 photos. How many of those are photos that, like, at the end of the day, you're like, oh, that's the shot I want? Like, it takes a lot of photos, I guess, to get the good stuff or not so much?
Yeah, definitely. I overshoot, definitely. I think I keep probably about 8% of what I take. The other 92% or so gets put on a hard drive and ignored forever. So what you see online or what you see on Instagram or that kind of thing, that's usually about 5 to 10% of what actually gets taken.
Yeah, that's interesting. Now you've got high tech equipment. You've got some of the best cameras online. So sometimes we take a photo, like it's Shutter, right? It's like 8 or 10 different photos within a second and a half. So of course you'll just keep the best frames, right?
100%, yeah.
In a tournament like this, when you start in the morning, it's sunny and 32 degrees. At night, the lights are on, the sun is shading. Do you have to change a lot of your equipment because of kind of the different lighting that you get in the stadium?
Yeah, there's a little bit of change. Here Ontario's making a big play here.
As we see an incredible tipped ball, ends up in the hands of, I miss you, Chris, in the hands of Gabriel Hamilton, but there is a flag on the play. Go on, Michael.
The gear changes not as much as maybe the position change. Here at Mosaic, it's nice having the little bit of overhang from the stadium because that means a little bit of shade. And so sometimes if it's really hot, we'll try and purposely position ourselves on a certain sideline to be in the shade. You can't obviously see us in the booth here, but my neck tan is atrocious right now. It's going to take a little while to repair that sort of tan line, but hiding in the shade a little bit is maybe one of our more strategic decisions.
So you're saying shooting professional football is easier than amateur football because of the stadium?
Well, being at Leibel Field on Wednesday was a lot more difficult, especially with that heavy heat that we had. So it was a mixture of more heat and also less shade, which made it for a long day. As
a quarterback, McAllister Holmes carries the ball here, gets a good gain for his team. So, Mike, how long have you been doing this for?
Been doing photos for probably 7 or 8 years professionally. I've been on my own for about 5 or 6 now, but I actually played in this tournament twice. Back in, it would have been 2014 and 2015. We hosted in Saskatchewan. I was on our Saskatchewan B team as a receiver. And then in 2015, it was in Quebec, actually. I was a receiver for Team Saskatchewan on this team. I can't remember how we finished. I want to say we got 3rd or 4th. I believe we lost to Quebec in a semifinal and then maybe beat Alberta. I can't remember specifically. But
so you know what I like about you not remembering specifically is that I think it's a reminder to all of us, 7, 8, 10 years later, it's not about where we finish in the standings. It's about the experience we've had, the people we've met, the football we've played. I love that you may not have purposely brought it up in that way, but to me, that's what I took from what you just said. It's kind of like, it's great to win gold today for Ontario or finish second if you're Quebec, but really what you'll remember is the experience you had, where you were, these new campuses you visited. So thanks for sharing that. I completely forgot, Michael, that you were an alumni of the Canada Cup tournament.
100%. I agree with you in every aspect of what you just said. I don't remember how we finished. I don't remember how many catches I had. I don't remember my stats. But what I do still to this day experience is like the relationships of the teammates that I had. I know that I went on to play at the University of Regina, but a lot of the other guys on the team went to play at the University of Saskatchewan, and we're obviously rivals, but you still see those guys all the time. You still talk to them, and I still have good relationships with a lot of those former players. So that, to me, is the more important aspect. Obviously, it's difficult if you're Quebec right now. You have a big loss in this final, but you remember the relationships more than the moments.
As Mason McLaughlin get his first reception of the day. Good for first down for Team Ontario. Well, Mike, look, thank you for joining us in the booth today. Thanks for your words of wisdom. I didn't realize we're going to reach a nice conclusion out of this segment. Remind us why we play football. It's not always for the wins and losses. It's for the community we build. So thank you, Mike, for joining us, and thanks for all your hard work this week and the great photos that you take.
Thanks for having me. And just a reminder to all the parents who are at home, there's going to be an online store where you can find all of the pictures that I've taken throughout the entire tournament. It's at shootwithscrapes.pixieset.com. If you want to have an easier way to access that, find me on Instagram or find my website. There'll be more information. Yeah, that should be live tomorrow, assuming all goes well. But thanks for having me, guys. I'll pass the mic back to Chris here.
Thank you very much, Mike. That was Michael Scraper with Shoot with Scrape. So once again, if you're looking for your tournament photos, it's as simple as Googling Shoot with Scrapes. I think you'll find his website, you'll find his Instagram, and you'll make your way to the Football Canada Cup area.
McAllister Holmes, the quarterback right now, hands off to Mason McLaughlin as we see some pushing and shoving down here. No flag.
Michael Scraper, one of our most beloved personalities here in football. He does a lot with the flag football program as well in the city, and just been a good community member, always willing to help, and a young man with always a smile on his face when he comes and visits us.
Love working with Scraper. Again, I mentioned working with him on the Regina Riot. Every year doing a video. We've done some special stuff together. Appreciate all the work that goes into that, as there's now officially under 3 minutes left here in the gold medal game. McLaughlin will toss that to number. A nice play on defense there for the Quebec defender, brought down by Belmoudin. We've mentioned his name a few times.
I almost thought that Drake Logan there stayed on his feet. I didn't see him kind of hit the turf, but they blew the whistle. As we look in the replay here on the jet sweep.
Almost did. Tried to sell it.
Try to sell it. It'll be second and long.
As time gets whistled in.
Under 3 minutes to go here, 37-7. Quebec getting some substitutions in.
Holmes takes the snap, looks to throw, pump fake. He's going to take a deep shot this time in the seam. Throws a nice throw for an Ontario touchdown to Benjamin Kingston.
Okay, great route, great throw, great coverage, great catch. That's just good football all around. Ontario obviously going to be more pleased than Quebec on that play, but that is high-level football.
McAllister Holmes from Thousand Island Secondary School making the most of his time on the field here in this gold medal game.
That makes him 4 for 4 today throwing the ball, 61-yard and 1 touchdown. Team Ontario now 14 of 19 passing for the day. Very high completion percentage all tournament long, 207 yards in the air today with 2 touchdowns. And that's not counting the jet sweeps, which I've always counted as passes. So quite the numbers in the air today for the quarterback group.
Zachary Auburn kicks that one into the third row of Pill Country as we see one of the other teams in the tournament racing for that ball, watching this gold medal game.
The kids are still having fun.
As we prepare for the closing ceremonies after this game. Ontario getting set to kick this one off. Officially under 2 minutes here left at Mosaic. Auburn kicks that one away, caught at the 5-yard line. Flag thrown there right away on this return. Tackle on the play by number 25, Paolo Grossi.
I'm going home now.
Olivier, flag thrown on that kickoff here.
Quebec's going to be backed up a little bit deeper in their own end. It's going to be less than a minute left here as Quebec takes possession. Likely be their last drive of the tournament. Quebec, not the game they wanted, but a great tournament nonetheless. They'll walk away with a silver medal. A fantastic football team. Lots of depth on this team as they hand the ball off here. Tough run.
Quick whistle there. time will run here to end the game.
Andrew Gaumont with a good tough carry. That's his 4th touch of the day. He's leading his team in rushing yardage.
This very well could potentially be the last play. 15 seconds and time running. As the head coach for Team Ontario, Rob Underhill, gets dumped with the Gatorade. As Quebec will turn, hand it off. Wait for the final whistle here, and there it is. Team Ontario coming away with a gold medal and a big win over Quebec here at the 2024 Football Canada Cup here in Regina. Olivier, it's been a great tournament. Ontario has dominated teams as they walk away with a big win in this final game.
A well-deserving championship for Rob Underhill and his staff. Adam Grandy, Chris Hopkins, Todd Galloway, the 3 coordinators, and everybody else from that organization. General Manager Joe Junkus, quarterback extraordinaire Chalmers, Holmes played a great game today as well. Stam, so many big names. On defense, of course, we saw a number of big plays for them. Grossi, Tharby with 2 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown. Fantastic team with plenty of depth. Congratulations to the gold medalists of this year's U18 Canada Cup Championship.
Yes, my name is Chris Hasbeck. Olivier, thank you. Thank you to our spotter, Kara Francoeur, being with us for all 16 games of this one. Between U16 and U18. Thank you, Football Canada, for having us. Football Sask as well, putting on a great tournament. That will do it for us tonight here at Mosaic Stadium. Keep an eye out for the gold medal presentation, and we will see you next time.
gentlemen, would you please join us in congratulating both teams on a great game, an outstanding performance, and a fantastic tournament. At this time, if I could draw your attention to midfield, we will commence with the presentations of the most valuable offensive and most valuable defensive player of the game awards as chosen by the U18 Football Canada Cup selection. Presenting these awards is 2022 Grey Cup MVP and most valuable Canadian, Enoch Muwamba. Enoch is here today as an ambassador of the CFL and OK Tire's Touchdown for Communities program powered by Blackhawk Tires. OK Tire, in partnership with Blackhawk Tires and the CFL, established the Touchdowns for Communities program in 2022 to support youth football at a community level from coast to coast. The winner of the most valuable defensive player of the game award for Team Quebec from Montreal S, representing College Charles Lamont, number 6, Sacha Durand. And the offensive player of the game for Team Quebec, representing Rigaud and College Orgues, number 3, Maxime Latendresse.
Medamit.
The winner of the most valuable defensive player of the game award for Team Ontario, representing Burlington and Corpus Christi CSS, number 53, Dylan Farby. And the winner of the most valuable offensive player of the game award for Team Ontario from Toronto, representing Northern SS, number 10, Riley Chalmers. Let's give it up for both teams on a fantastic final. And as we do that, we'll invite the rest of the teams to enter the field at their designated spots, and we will continue with the remainder of the closing ceremonies. Thank you. Thank you all so much for your patience. Ladies and gentlemen, if we could once again turn your attention to center field, we will begin with the award ceremony with the presentation of the bronze, silver, and gold medals to the deserving teams. We are honored to once again have Enoch Mwamba, Mike Humany, and Kevin McDonald to present these prestigious medals. Let's give a round of applause as we commence our ceremony. First, the bronze medals to Team Alberta. And now receiving their silver medals, let's give it up for Team Quebec. And now receiving their gold medals, Team Ontario. chosen by the U18 Football Canada Cup Selection Committee. Presenting these awards will be Enoch Mulan. The winner of the most valuable defensive player of the tournament from Team Ontario, representing Stony Creek and Saltby DHS number 95, Carter Gooden. The winner of the most valuable offensive player of the tournament from Team Alberta, representing Okotoks and holding Trinity Knights, number 5, Seth Bolzer. And the winner of the most valuable special team player of the tournament from Team Ontario, representing Guelph and Centennial CBI, number 3, Matthew Stan. At this time, we will hand it over to Enoch Mulan.
First of all, I want to say congratulations to every single team that is here tonight and has been here throughout the week. Can we get a round of applause for every province that's represented here today? Congratulations tonight as well to Team Ontario, Team Quebec, on a great show tonight as well. Round of applause, please. And on behalf of the CFL, Football Canada, OK Tire, I'm delighted to be here in your presence as well, to partake in this week, to partake in this game, to partake in the trophy. I think football is absolutely something to celebrate together, because there truly is a position for everybody. And I love the fact that the whole country as a whole has come together to celebrate the game, but more than anything, to celebrate each and every single young man that came out today and gave their all throughout the course of a whole week. So once again, congratulations. Congratulations to Ontario for winning the tournament as well.
At this time, we would like the captains of Team Ontario to step forward and meet Enoch Mwamba and Mike Humany as they present the championship trophy and banner to the winning team, Team Ontario. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2024 Canada Cup champions, Team Ontario. Thank you all so much for your attendance, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you enjoyed all of your time in Saskatchewan. The torch has now been passed to Nova Scotia, who will be your host of your 2025 Football Canada Cup. Congratulations to Ontario. Safe travels, everyone, and the best on your respective football fields this fall. Good night from Regina.
After the rain.